friends, I am back. I'm going to attempt a voiceover again. But I posted a short of my mass-made clusters, and I just thought I would record the process of how I build those. I usually just start with a background paper, which in this case you can see is the music paper, and then I just start ripping up scraps that I have to start building some layers for the clusters. So I and probably many of you get Amazon packaging with the brown paper that's crinkled up for like stuffing, filling. I save that. So I also save brown paper bags, but I just randomly tear those up and start laying them out. Usually a full sheet. This sheet is probably it's about 8.5 by 11, probably 9 by 12, 8.5 by 11. It's a good size sheet of music paper. So I kind of have it divvied up into 4 columns by folding it in half and in half again, and then I do 3 rows down. And so that gives me 12 clusters. So I just kind of space them out and lay them down, and then now I am going through some more of my scrappy stash that I had. Made some faux tickets, so I am now placing those around, and I believe I run out. I don't have enough tickets, so I just look for another scrap and I just lay that on top. But I basically, my method for this is to basically look for contrast, whether in color, texture, maybe like in the weight of how something looks. Like these faux tickets are done with watercolor paper, and of course lots of color, so they're kind of like a heavy item, Excuse me. Oh, here's that random piece of paper I created using some embossing to test out some that I had received from a friend. So I just tear that up and use that because it's super pretty. But these clusters don't have to all be used in the same junk journal or album or on the same, project. But it kind of gives me a collective, so that I have some that are somewhat similar together, and I can just tear those apart as I need them. But I like doing them on this full sheet because I can just store the sheet, and there I have, all the clusters together. So here I have some scrap lace, and I just randomly, as you can see, very randomly, I'm just cutting it apart. I tried tearing it, but there was just it's too heavily woven for me to tear. So I just cut it apart. But and now I'm, like I said, using the lace, so that's a real light kind of layer. Oh, and this is a crochet cotton piece that was a decor piece that I found. I don't know how I acquired it, but anyway, I tried softening it up because it was starched into the shape of a heart and just didn't fit in my decor. But of course my eyes saw, ooh, something for junk journaling or fodder, So I randomly cut up a few of those pieces because apparently I didn't have enough lace that went through either. But that's okay. That's what makes this fun. You just find random things and you just kind of throw down. Now I'm going through my little fodder box. I cut a lot of pieces out of books. I really like to harvest images from, I have some gardening books, magazines, all those types of things. So this is from a box I usually take downstairs while I'm watching a movie, and I will just cut things up while I listen and watch. So now I'm just scattering around a bunch of these cacti images and some mushrooms, and this will be my top layer. is basically my focal image. So I have like a background, which is the music paper. Then I have kind of a couple of layers, which is the brown paper, then the ticket, and the lace, and then a focal image. So it kind of gives a little cluster of items, some color, different imagery. Keep your eyes busy, you know. It's always fun. But I love doing these, and I was able to make, I have 2 more that I did in the same manner, and it doesn't take long. Like, you can build 12 clusters in, 15 minutes. The longest part is, I think, coming up now, as I'm showing how I'm taking my hot glue gun and gluing the layers together right to that background paper. And that was sort of a sticky little mess, but it's not awful. Oh, and now I'm like taking back some of that white, just kind of knocking some of that back with some of the vintage photo or tea dye distress ink. And I think I do some of them, and then there's a couple of others I believe I leave just plain. And sometimes I make these where I will ink around even the brown paper. I didn't dye the lace on these clusters either. Sometimes I like to take and spray those with my tea dye or my avocado dye. But I did end up taking some of that crochet cotton, crocheted pieces. I did take some of those down yesterday after I made this first one, and dyed those in some tea dye. So those gave them a little bit of grunge look. But I think I'm just working on trying to find a simple way to just also go through and kind of glue those layers down. And really, it's not like a solid gluing. These are just general. Like, I just do a basic cluster, and I can kind of add to these. I can take some twine and wrap some twine around and layer that behind. You can add to these after, when you're ready to use them in your journal or on a card or whatnot. So add some little labels. So there, I think I start finding a way. And I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about what I'm doing either. I just basically want a little of each layer to kind of show, just so that the eye can see that there are several layers, and it adds the texture and depth to the cluster. But these are fun. And I made, let's see, I have 3 of them completed, so 36 clusters I did in under an hour. So not bad. But it's a fun way. I encourage you guys to try if you do junk journaling and you enjoy, or even maybe you struggle with clusters. This is a fun way to just not put too much brain work into it. Don't drive yourself crazy. Just give it a try by just dropping the pieces down and attaching them. And believe me, in the end, they look pretty good. Not bad at all. And like I said, this is the longest part, But I have some more mask making stuff that I'm going to be working on. I have a bunch of master boards where I took scraps and glued them down, and I want to cut apart the master boards now into some tags and some pockets. So that'll be coming up. I do want to do some hidden paper clips and maybe some page borders. like the tabs. I've seen some of those that I really like and I want to give a try. And I did do a 5-pocket fold that I learned from watching Margaret on 7 Plaza. I did that live with Tracy and Biddy Penny last Friday. Those were fun. So now I'm just putting together the tags to tuck in those. I think I'm kind of showing how fast this really goes. It's and it's a fun process. Just kind of lay it down. It's very freeing to not think too hard, and in the end to have beautiful little pieces of art, on one big sheet. See that? And just take a little tiny bit, and we can worry about gluing harder if we need to have something more stable when we decide to put it on the end piece, when it finds its final home, I guess. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys watching the shorts that I put up and kind of following along on my journey. I'm trying the voiceover this time because I tried the speed button and music last time and I was encouraged to try to just talk through it. So here I am. But anyway, we're just about near the end of the video. And I just continue gluing these down. But again, keep watching, as I move along, just creating a bunch of things for my journals and trying to finish up my scavenger hunt journal and putting things into my junk journal January, which I think I mentioned before. I'm just going to have that an ongoing thing. Yeah. To glue strings, that was the big annoying part of this, is the glue strings. And here, I don't know why I'm like pulling them off now. I should just wait till the end, get everything glued and let it dry, and then just go through and pick off glue strings. But anyway, it was well worth it. It was well worth it because it kind of moves along real quickly and it attaches everything well, especially the lace and the little cotton fabric cut aparts, crocheted pieces there. So fun. But I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed and leave a comment on what you thought about this, and especially if you try it out, this method. I'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye.